The CAMMUS LP8. Let's start off with the pros. Tiny, easy to fit anywhere on your rig, on a table, doesn't matter, it will fit. Inexpensive compared to other bases in this similar power category. It looks amazing. The aesthetics are off the charts. Carbon fiber, aluminum, all your favorite sim racing materials. Very knee-friendly when mounted inverted, especially, as you can see, my knees have no problem clearing this space. The wheelbase comes standard with a 70mm mounting pattern. No quick release necessary. You want to mount a wheel straight to this wheelbase, you can do that. Name a single other direct drive wheelbase that allows that. I'm waiting. Now, when I say that, I'm looking at you, Fanatic. I'm looking at you, Moza, and I'm looking at you, SimMagic. It's pretty dirty to force people to buy your quick releases and your wheel accessories to use a standard aftermarket wheel rim. Stop making 50mm mounting patterns, please. Thank you. The LP8 also allows you to use other connections directly to the wheelbase. So, other accessories, CAMMUS accessories, and it also has a USB port directly on the wheelbase. Now, even though I feel like 8 Newton meters is not powerful enough to justify an emergency stop button, you can put one on there. Options, folks, you got options. Speaking of connections, the power connector is the most robust power connector I have seen featured on a wheelbase. This is also featured on their C5 wheelbase. So it's not the only wheelbase using this connection, but it is the best connection I have seen featured on any direct drive wheelbase, or any wheelbase for that matter, that I've tested thus far. And I've tested quite a few. The tuning software is right on par with other companies. I would venture to say at this point it rivals Fanatic and all the other companies that are producing direct drive wheelbases. Quality craftsmanship, the parts fit together nicely. There's no huge seams anywhere. It doesn't look like it's about to fall apart on you. You can give it the old slap. As a matter of fact, it's very fun to slap. The first wheelbase I have ever tested that is natively compatible with Richard Burns Rally, my very favorite game. I didn't have to download any special drivers. I didn't have to download any weird updates to make it work. It just worked with the game. I went to go map my controls, and there it was, the CAMMUS Light Play. There it is. And by the way, that's what LP stands for, Light Play. No play in the shaft. It is solid as a brick house. This thing is going to stand the test of time. It's going to be strong. Smooth operation and a very convincing force feedback. Feels very realistic. The power button on the rear is very easy to find by feel. I do wish the power button was on the front, though. We'll wait to talk about that in the middle section here. Comes with all the mounting hardware. You don't have to buy any T-nuts or any screws or anything like that. You don't have to make a trip to the hardware store the first day you have this thing. You have everything you need to set it up from day one if you buy this. Super duper well packaged. It is an absolute unit of packaging. No worries about shipping this thing across the world. Wherever you are in the world, this thing will make it to you safe and sound. Easy to mount. The size of it, it's easy to hold and mount up. If you've ever tried to mount a super heavy wheelbase with the traditional bottom mount holes, it's a task. Not so with this wheelbase. The outer housing itself acts as a heat sink and it sheds heat extremely easy. This unit will not overheat. I've play tested it for hours and hours and hours, and I have not got it to overheat. It does get warm to the touch, but all that means is the shell is doing its job. Now let's get into the limbo. This is my new middle segment of things that could go either way. You're stuck between good and bad, heaven and hell. This is right in between here. It would have been nice to see 1 or 2, at least, mappable buttons on the front of this device. And the reason I say that is because this is the only wheelbase in CAMMUS's lineup that doesn't feature mappable buttons on the front of a wheelbase. It's a lot to ask. It's a very small wheelbase in general, and there's really not a lot of room inside there for electronics, I imagine. But of course, it's not even a standard feature on wheelbases. It's only standard with CAMMUS products. Not a huge deal, and I don't see any other companies even trying to put a single button on the front of their wheelbase, even though they do have the room for it. So congratulations to CAMMUS for paving that path but I wish you would continue that path with the LP8. It would have also been nice if CAMMUS included some side channels for T-nuts. So you look at the base here, and visually it looks like it should have it. It even has some slightly larger gaps towards the middle. So when I first picked this up and looked at it, I was like, okay, it's got those T-nut slots. That's awesome. Great job, CAMMUS. But it did not have them, and I was kind of disappointed. But again, it doesn't really matter. You know, there's not really too many things that people think of like, okay, I'm going to mount this on my wheelbase, you know? Other than side mounting the unit itself, typically side channels are not really used. So it's not really a huge deal. And even on the DDWB, the CAMMUS wheelbase I had mounted previously, I only used those side channels for cable management. I didn't use it for anything else. I didn't use it to mount my phone. I didn't use it to mount like some LCD screen or anything like that. My aluminum extrusion rig I have it mounted to is able to fill that role easily. So it's not really a huge deal. But still, a missed opportunity, I feel. The last thing in limbo land here, if you don't like triangles, you probably won't like this wheelbase. But I don't know too many people that don't like triangles. Let's get into the cons. This list is extremely short. I tried so hard to think of things I don't like about this wheelbase or that I would consider a flaw, and these are the only things I could think of. 8 Newton meters might not be enough if you want to replicate cars with no power steering. You'd have to max this thing out to get it to feel like a car that has, broken power steering or doesn't feature power steering. Basically, if you like to drive any car in the past, I'd say like 50 years, something like that, you're pretty safe with this wheelbase. You won't need that because every car I can think of, even racing cars, have power steering. Unless you only play Beam NG and you crash into walls and that's your job is to crash into walls and keep on driving, you're probably fine. But still, it is nice to have extra headroom. Another one is, depending on when you see this video or when you decide to buy this wheelbase, shipping might cost more than you like. CAMMUS is always looking for new areas, new distribution centers. They're still improving their products. They're still working on ways to get these products to you sooner, cheaper. I don't know all the distribution centers available right now. All I know is if you're part of their Facebook group, CAMMUS's Facebook page and their social media, you'll see on there on a weekly basis, there's like 1 or 2 new distribution centers added. I mean, from what I've seen, there could be more. They're always working on improving their customer service, their products, their shipping, their prices, everything. It's amazing. I've been blown away by this company. I really have. You'll notice on this wheelbase here, I'm literally using a $20 quick release system. This is not an NRG quick release. This is not like some fancy thing. This is not even a CAMMUS quick release. This is a $20 quick release off eBay. And it fits and it works well. You can even mount on these their little circle that allows you to wirelessly communicate with the steering wheel. They use an interface that's compatible with off-the-shelf aftermarket quick releases. And again, you don't even need this quick release. You can just mount it straight to the wheelbase. I'm talking straight rim to base. Where are you going to find that elsewhere? You're not! Because companies want to squeeze that money out of you. CAMMUS doesn't need to squeeze that money out of you. They approach you as the customer with their value, their price to performance ratio. That is what sells you on these products. You're like, wait a second, I can get the same performance with this product as this one that costs twice as much, 3 times as much? Yes. You know why? Because those other companies are charging too much. And CAMMUS is here to prove that those companies are charging too much. I feel this is currently CAMMUS's best product yet. This base paired with something like the LC100 pedals, also by CAMMUS, seems like a home run. I'd venture to say that this could very well be a forever wheelbase for most users, myself included. Have a good day. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.
Driving me up the wall of cruise control, setting me up to fall like bowling balls on a crash course. Let's roll, give me all